Hey guys, welcome back to another episode Up and Running. Thanks for watching. All right, on today's episode, we're going to get back to working on that small block Chevy. We're going to show you how the valve springs come off and hopefully work on getting it put back together. So I hope you enjoy it. Thanks for watching. I love watching the dogs have some fun, but man, does Nikki shed. I don't know if you can see all this hair on the floor here. But all that is just from Ozzy and Nikki roughhousing around here. We gotta constantly clean the floors. Ugh. Here you go, I just mopped this room right now. You can see how much was just in this room. That's crazy.
Oh, that's all right, that's all right. Hang on now. Still one here.
Here, I got the head.
I'm anxious to see number one.
They look pretty decent in the hole. The pistons.
This intake looks like it. I gotta get a light up, maybe sitting up a little.
That's number one. That's the one that had just slightly lower compression until we fired it a couple times, and then it seemed decent.
Here's what I'm doing, pour a lot of water in it.
See, it holds water.
Better move that.
I gotta do it this way, the intake side. Because that was the intake valve.
Mm-hmm. Would you look at that? Holding water.
I remember my dad always used to say when you heard sirens, Dunkin' Donuts is out of coffee. Yeah, it's holding water.
So, well, that seems to be
Wait, I did the right one, yeah. This is
feeling pretty good.
Number one.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm gonna lap them anyway.
All right, so when we open this engine up, I'm looking here at the pistons, and they've all got this .040, which is 40 thousandths of an inch overbore. So this engine's obviously been opened up at some point and rebuilt. Let me see if I can zoom in on some of these. There, you can see it there. There's a close-up of it there. So that's one way you have a pretty good idea that the engine's been rebuilt at one point. Typically at the factory, they'll all be the standard bore. There is on occasion where it could be that one piston is overboard, or you know, maybe a couple of them just have a slight overboard, but that really rarely happens. So this engine's probably been rebuilt at one point. All right, so here's the other head. Nothing jumping out. We were wondering about the cam because these things are known for having cam issues when they were newer. So hopefully, you know, this is all taken care of and we don't have to worry about that right now.
Lifter looks great. See it?
Yeah.
I should have vacuumed that first, but
You'll probably change the oil now.
right there.
Yeah, that looks good. Yep, all right, try not to get crap down with it. All right, there we go.
Thanks, Robert.
Of course, we dumped over the antifreeze bucket, so little cleanup.
It's not a job unless you got antifreeze everywhere.
Yeah, if there's any chance of antifreeze being involved, it will be on the floor everywhere. So that's the tool for taking the valve springs off. There'll be little keepers in the end that of course you'll lose.
Yeah, if I do this, yeah, but I'm just trying to get a good view. You have the same one?
I don't own one, it was a long time ago. It was-
Oh, I'm not moving that spring.
Sometimes you had to tap it, but
I'm gonna try it the other way. I don't know if I make a difference this way. Oh, I don't know if I can because of
just
this.
off the end of the table.
You know what I mean?
That's how we used to do them, just laying on the table like that.
Yeah.
I mean, we'd stand them up if we could, but sometimes we just stand them vertically too. What we used to do sometimes is hit the edge of the valve just to knock them loose from the keeper. And FYI, it is possible to have a keeper fly out if you do that.
I've had it happen.
Yeah.
I should help if I tighten that up a little. Yeah, it's a long time. I've been knowing all V6 stuff.
Yeah.
It's lined up straight. Maybe I'm not on it enough. Do I need to open that up? You know, to get over it better?
Yeah, you may have to.
That fit better?
Yeah.
Oh, I gotta lengthen this rod. It moved, right?
Yeah, it moved. They moved a fair amount, so.
Didn't move at all, did it?
Yeah, just hit the tool.
And it slid.
So we squeezed it back. There's one keeper there and one on the table.
This one's jammed in it. This wants to slide out. Look at it.
Yeah.
I think I need to tighten that up a little more.
The other keeper.
Make sure that don't shoot off at you.
Yeah. You're on it.
I'm on it, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're off it now. I mean, go ahead and squeeze it. You're gonna be good.
That looks like it's still stuck on there. Like I said.
Yeah, a little carbon.
and it's just slid right off. You know, those are supposed to tap on. And that one doesn't look terrible. I mean, I'm gonna clean it and lap them. Not a lot of carbon.
No, that's not bad.
So I hope I'm not sorry I did this. I'm gonna see if I can get that intake off.
So I put a big socket on it and gave it a couple of whacks, and it knocked the keepers loose because they were carboned in. I won't be able to use any of this sound anyway.
Yeah. Is that enough?
No, I mean, that's enough, so. All right, so here's where the engine stands right now. I missed a little bit about what Ed was doing, taking those springs off. I had to run an errand, but he's got he went and bought a new oil pan. The oil pan that was on here was in really rough shape. I'll hunt it down in a minute and show it to you. But he got a really nice gasket kit that's got a one-piece gasket in it, so hopefully there's less chance of leaking. You know, you'll still want to put a dab of sealer like down in the corner and things like that. But that looks like a really nice gasket. What he's doing with what he decided to do with the heads, he found out that a set of rebuilt heads for this engine are really cheap. So he's going to go with a rebuilt set of heads on here. So when they come in, we'll finish putting that together. But let me go find that oil pan once real quick. All right, so here's the oil pan. He's got the intake laying here too, but I'm going to turn this on its side, and if you look at this, try to get the angle just right, all those holes are really beat down, like somebody really over torqued this once. So, and one of the flanges, I think it's that one over there, was bent pretty good. You can kind of see this one's bent down a little bit right in this area. And the oil pan for this was really cheap, so he just ended up buying a new oil pan for it. I think the other thing that he noticed about this is the oil plug was kind of boogered up on it as well. So this isn't going to be, any kind of high dollar restoration where everything's got to be, just the way it came from the factory or anything like that. So he bought a new oil pan, so that's why there was a new pan on that engine. But like I say, he's going to get some new heads and, kind of do almost like a half rebuild on this engine, but it'll be a good engine then when it's done. As long as I'm talking about this, I'll tell you how you normally fix this. You take a straight edge, and let me grab one right here, and you'd put it on the side of the oil pan, and if you look, you can see a lot of daylight through here. So all those are places where you're going to potentially get a leak. So you gotta make them all straight and flat, trying to do this with one hand. So what you'd have to do is you'd have to take every one of these holes and beat those holes down so they're flush again. And then, make sure these lips are all perfectly straight. And like I said, you can see this one's down a little bit right here. The other side's about the same. So it would take quite a bit of work to straighten this one out, and I'm sure there's people out there who would say, yeah, I'm absolutely going to do it, and that's fine. It just takes time, and this oil pan I just don't think is worth it. It's been around the block several times and it's kind of beat. All right, guys, that's going to wrap it up for another episode Up and Running. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and ring the bell right next to it for your notifications. And you could probably tell a friend or two as well. It wouldn't hurt anything. Thanks for watching.
Damn.
All right, so we squeeze. Yeah. All right. All right, guys, that's going to wrap it up for... All right, guys, that's going to wrap it up for another episode of... All right, guys, that's going to wrap it up for another why can't I think this through today? All right, guys, that's going to wrap it up for another...